Hello everyone. This is in continuation with my last lecture where we have calculated convolutional code using time domain analysis. Now, as the time domain analysis is quite complex one which required tedious task to calculate each and every parameter, we are proceeding forward and see the frequency domain analysis, which is quite easier as compared to the time domain analysis. So for the same example, we are going to get the same output but by using different approach, and that is now frequency domain analysis. So let me tell you once again, example is same. So for the same example, as we have seen in my last lecture, we are going to find out the output code word but by using now frequency domain analysis. So what we are doing in the frequency domain analysis, we are going to convert all the inputs into their polynomial equations. As we have seen in the cyclic code, we know that how to convert any binary sequence into its polynomial equation. Now in the given example, the value of d is, it is given 1 0 0 1 1. So as this value is given, first of all we are going to convert this input into its polynomial form. So d of p, how can we write d of p? So the basics of cyclic code I am using now here. 1, first bit 1 as it is, into p raised to the power 0, then second bit into p raised to the power 1, then third bit into p raised to the power 2, fourth bit p raised to the power 3, next bit p raised to the power 4. So we just need to increase the power of this polynomial from zeros, and accordingly we can write this bits. So 1 into p raised to the power 0 is 1, 1 into 1 is 1, plus 0 into anything is 0, 0 into anything is 0, 1 into p cube is p cube, and 1 into p4 is p4. This is how this input bit sequence is converted into the polynomial equation d of p. Now we have converted input into its polynomial equation. Similarly, we'll have to convert the values of gi1 and gi2. If you see this previous example, this is what the convolutional encoder we have seen. So we have written the value of gi1 as 111 and gi2 as 100. Now we also have to convert this binary sequence into their polynomial equation. So let us do that. gi1 is 111 and gi2 is 101. So let us convert it into the polynomial form. So gi1 of p, so 1 into p raised to the power 0 plus 1 into p raised to the power 1 and 1 into p raised to the power 2. So 1 into p raised to the power 0 is 1, 1 into 1 is 1 plus p square. Similarly gi2, 1 into p0 plus 0 into p1 plus 1 into p2. So 1 into p0 is 1, so 1 into 1 is 1, plus 0 into anything is 0, plus 1 into p square is p square, so 1 plus p square. This is how we are getting here the polynomial equations of the impulse responses of first XOR gate and second XOR gate. Now once we get the impulse response of the XOR gate, first and second XOR gate, and input polynomial equation, now to find the code word, it is very easy. As I earlier mentioned in my lecture, in the frequency domain analysis, we just need to do the multiplication. So to get the first code word, that is the output of the first XOR gate, what we are doing, we are just multiplying the impulse response of the first XOR gate with the input. That's it, and we are getting the xi1. How? Have a look. So xi1 of p, this is what the output of first XOR gate, output of first XOR gate. So xi1 of p, this is in polynomial equation, so that's why xi1 of p, how can we get it? So while simply multiplying input polynomial d of p with the impulse response of the first XOR gate. So what is the impulse response of the first XOR gate? gi1 of p. So dp into gi1 of p. Now dp we have already written here, 1 plus p cube plus p4, and gi1 of p we have also written here, 1 plus p square. So simply we are making here multiplication. So if I am multiplying this bracket with 1, I will get that bracket as it is, 1 plus p square. Now if I multiply this bracket with p cube, what will I get? P cube into 1 is p cube into p is p4, p cube into p square is p5. Power is always added, and now the same bracket I will multiply with p4. So p4 into 1 is p4, p4 into p5, and p4 into p square is p6. As we know that in the XOR gate, same functions, polynomial function is always cancelled out. You know two inputs, if they are same, they are always producing zero output. Like 0 plus 0 is 0 and 1 plus 1 is also 0. It means same input is always producing zero output. So we are going to cancel the same input. So P4 will be cancelled and P5 will be cancelled. So what will left? We can write it in the ascending order: 1 plus P square plus P cube plus P6. This is what the first output of the XOR gate, but this is in the polynomial equation. Now, as we know how to write the binary sequence into its polynomial equation, we can even write the polynomial equation into their binary into the binary form also. So reverse approach is also one should know. So from this equation, now our job is to write its corresponding binary sequence. How? So we know that this is 1 into, it is having p raised to the power 0. So p raised to the power 0 coefficient is 1 here. That's why we have written 1. Then this is p raised to the power 1. So its coefficient is 1. We have written here 1. P square coefficient is 1. P cube coefficient is 1. No P4 coefficient, that's why 0. No P5 coefficient, that's why 0. And P6 coefficient is 1. And we know that the total number of bits in Xi1 is 7. Why? Because the i's ranges from 0 to 6. We have already known these things. From how we have calculated the value of I, which is ranges from 0 to 6. So it is actually depending upon the input. Now how many bits are there in the input? 1 0 0 1 1. Total how many number of bits? 5. And how many shift registers are there? Total shift registers are 3. So total 5 bits and 3 means 2 more operation. So 5 plus 2, that is 7. So that's why I is ranges from 0 to 6, total 7. So total 7 bits in Xi1. Now the same thing we can do for the second XOR gate. So we can write it for Xi2 of P. How can we get? So simply we can multiply D of P with the impulse response of the second XOR gate, that is Gi2 of P. Dp we already know, 1 plus P cube plus P4, and Gi2 of P we have written here, that is 1 plus P square. We can do the multiplication, we can cancel if any parameters are there. Accordingly we can write their corresponding binary form. If you see, this is 1. 1 means what? Actually it is 1 into P0. We can write here P0. P raised to the power 0 is actually 1. So P0 coefficient is 1. P1 is not available here. It means its coefficient is 0. P square coefficient is 1. P cube coefficient we can write here. P4 is not available. It means it is 0. P5 coefficient is 1. Sorry. P4 I have written here. So P4, so this 0 is not there. P4 coefficient is 1, P5 coefficient is 1, and P6 coefficient is 1. So total 7 bits. If you see, P0 coefficient is 1, P1 is not available, so 0. P2 is there, P3 is there, P4 is there, P5 is there, and P6. So while writing the output, please write it in the ascending order. So we got here the value of Xi1 and Xi2. Now to write the final output X, how can we write it? So we can take 1 bit from the first XOR gate and 1 bit from the second XOR gate. So 1 1, then second bit from the first XOR gate, second bit from the second XOR gate. So 1 0 1 0, then third bit here and third bit here. So 1 1 1 1 0 1 0 1, and finally 1 1. This is how we are getting the output. So if you compare this output with the previous the output of my previous lecture, once again same. Why? Because everything is same, even the input and the design is same. So what we have observed here, whatever the output that we got here, exactly the same, but the process looks very simpler as compared to the time domain analysis. So frequency domain analysis is very easy as compared to the time domain analysis.